Hello everyone. As you can see here, I wrote all the equations, well, some equations of the of a straight line. So I will go from the vector form to the parametric form to the continuous form to the pointless law form and finally to the y-intercept form. Remember, I tried to explain this, but I'm going to give you how to get from one to the other. So, as I explained this, we've got one point P and one vector V. So, Q is on this line, Q is here, Q is one point, one general point, X, Y. So, if we start in P, we need to know how long V is going to be. So, this is lambda, right? If we write this vector form, you have to study this, to learn this. Then you have the expression with coordinate, the coordinate expressions of the vector form. Just by using the first component of the coordinates of the x component, you've got the parametric equation for x. And the second one is the parametric equation for y. Right? How do we get the continuous form? To get the continuous form, what we do is, from here to here, what we do is isolate lambda. If you isolate lambda and then equal in both equations, you've got this continuous form. And if you notice, we've got x minus the point divided by a vector, y minus its point coordinate divided by the vector coordinate. So, in all these cases, you have to learn that, for example, the parametric equation, of course that I don't want you to learn many things by heart, but this is easy, is x, the point, the x coordinate of the point plus lambda v of x, the x coordinate of the vector. So if you write this 3 times, you will learn it. Anyway, how do we get, this is the difficult step, right? At least for you. How do we get from the continuous to the point slope form? The point slope, remember, when we've got a vector v, any vector, it has 2 coordinates. It has v of x and v of y. Right? So, the slope of this vector v, the slope of v equals this, equals v of y, lo que sube, rise, over v of x, lo que avanza, right? So this is the slope, and we know it. So this is why this form is called point slope, because we've got y minus p of y, x minus p of x, the points are given, and the slope. So we can get from here to here just by moving v of y to the other side of the equation, transposing, sorry. And finally, how do we get the slope y-intercept form, the one that we are used to? This is so easy. You just have to isolate y. Isolate y. So, let me solve one complete example, right? Imagine that I give you one example. If I give you 1 point, doesn't matter, I can call it A. A is 2, -3, and one vector. Vector U is 3, -1. So, I'm going to write all the equations, follow all the steps, step by step. It's not that difficult. So, the first one, any point on that line, on that line, I can call it X, or I can call it Q, it's the same. So, if I've got A, and I've got U, this point on this line, any point here, I can call it capital X. So, capital X equals, I go to the starting point, is A plus lambda U. So if I write this in coordinate, this is x, y equals 2, negative 3 plus lambda times the vector 3, negative 1. So these are the vector equations, the vector form of the straight line. So now let's calculate, let's express this as a parametric form. So this is x equals 2 plus 3 lambda and y equals negative 3 minus lambda. So these one are the parametric. This is vectorial. Easy so far. Let's go to the continuous. To get the continuous, as I told you before, what I'm going to do is isolate lambda on both equations. If I isolate lambda in this equation, you know how to do it that directly. Is x minus 2 divided by 3. So it's going to be x minus 2, because this 2 it goes subtracting, and this 3 is multiplying. When it's transposed, it goes dividing. And here, this is lambda. This is lambda. Right? Even though we don't write it, I'm going to write it just one for you. And here, be careful because there is a negative 1, but it's not a problem. Okay? So this is y plus 3. Y is indeed is minus negative 3, but it's y plus 3. Y plus 3 divided by negative 1. Right? So these are these two. Forgetting about the lambda, I'm going to erase it. Okay? This is the continuous form. This is continuous. Okay? And now, if I want to get the point slope, is the only thing that you have to bear in mind is that this is v of y. This is rise. Eso es lo que sube el vector. Rise. And this is x is run. So yo quiero tener, to have the slope, to obtain the slope, I need rise over run. So this negative 1, which is dividing, I want it here. So what I'm going to do is, using parentheses, x minus 2, this 3 is in here dividing, this negative 1, which it was dividing, is going there, multiplying. So this is the negative 1 that it was here, equals y plus 3. And why is this y plus 3? Because it was negative 3. So y minus negative 3, negative times negative is positive. Alright? So this one, you can write it like this or the other way around, it's the same. This is what we call the point slope form of the equation. Right? Point slope form. Alright. And finally, how do we get the slope y-intercept form, which is the one that you are used to it? This is so easy. It's just a question of multiplying out and isolating y. So let me do it like this. So this 3 it goes subtracting here, no? But I'm going to flip everything. So this is x minus 2 times negative 1 divided by 3, and this 3 goes subtracting, minus 3. So let's work a little bit this expression. If we work a little bit with this expression, this is negative x, this is negative x divided by 3. Negative times negative is positive, positive 2/3. And this is minus 3. Can we simplify this? Of course, that we can simplify this. This is negative x over 3, and negative times 3, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9, plus 2 is 7. 7, negative 7/3. Right? So finally we get that y equals negative x over 3 and negative 7 over 3. Of course, mirad, if you remember this is negative. Let me write this as negative 1x. If you remember that if this is the slope, Of course that is the slope. The slope of the vector is y over x, negative 1 over 3, negative 1 over 3, which is what we obtained here. So here we get from the point and the vector we get all the different forms. The vector form, the parametric form, the continuous form, the point slope form, and the slope and y-intercept form. Okay? And now it's time for you to do it. Bye.